I stood in the hotel lobby, holding my suitcase, watching them drive away. Four people I thought were my closest friends, people I'd known for years, people I'd trusted, people I'd paid for. And they just left. My name is Daniel. I'm 34 years old. And this is the story of the night I realized that being generous doesn't make you valued. It just makes you convenient. Let me go back. Let me explain how I ended up standing there, alone, feeling like the ground had opened up beneath me. It started 3 months ago. My friend group, Jason, Marcus, Tara, and Jen, we'd been planning this trip for over a year. A long weekend getaway. The mountains, a nice hotel, a chance to disconnect from work, from life, from everything. I was excited, I really was. These were my people, or at least I thought they were. Jason and I went back to college. We'd been roommates. We'd stayed up late talking about our dreams, our fears, what we wanted out of life. Marcus came into the picture a few years later through work. He was funny, easygoing, the kind of guy who could make anyone laugh. Tara and Jen were a package deal, best friends since high school. They joined our group about 5 years ago, and it felt complete, like we were this perfect little unit. We did everything together: game nights, dinners, spontaneous road trips, and this weekend trip, it was supposed to be the best one yet. But here's the thing nobody talks about. When you're the one with a little more money, when you're the one who's always picking up the tab, always offering to cover things, people start to expect it. And I didn't mind. Not at first. I made decent money. I didn't have kids, no major expenses. And I liked being able to treat my friends. It felt good, like I was contributing, like I was valued. But somewhere along the way, it stopped feeling like generosity. It started feeling like obligation. When we were planning the trip, Jason suggested this beautiful hotel in the mountains. Everyone was excited. But then the conversation turned to cost. The rooms were expensive, $300 a night for a 3-night stay. I saw the hesitation. Tara mentioned maybe finding somewhere cheaper. Marcus joked about just camping instead. And then I said it, the thing I'd said 100 times before. Don't worry about it, I'll cover the rooms. Everyone thanked me, hugged me, told me I was the best. Jason said he'd get drinks all weekend to make up for it. Tara promised she'd cook us all breakfast one morning. But even as they said those things, I felt something in my chest, something small, something I tried to ignore. It wasn't gratitude I saw in their eyes. It was relief. Relief that they didn't have to pay. Relief that someone else would handle it. The day we left, I was running late. Work had been chaotic. I told them to go ahead, that I'd meet them at the hotel in a few hours. Are you sure? Jen asked, but she was already in the car. Yeah, I'll catch up. They left, and I finished my work, and I drove up alone. 3 hours through winding mountain roads, alone with my thoughts, alone with the quiet. When I got to the hotel, it was beautiful. Everything we'd hoped for. Rustic but elegant. A fireplace in the lobby. Mountain views from every window. I checked in. The woman at the desk smiled and handed me 4 key cards. 4 rooms, all under my name, all on my credit card. I texted the group. I'm here, room 304, where are you guys? It took 20 minutes for someone to respond. Marcus, we're at a bar in town, about 10 minutes away. We'll swing by and grab you in an hour. It's an hour, okay. I could wait an hour. I went to my room, unpacked a little, sat on the bed, checked my phone. An hour passed, then another. I texted again. Hey, still good to meet up? No response. I tried calling Jason, straight to voicemail. I tried Tara, same thing. A knot started forming in my stomach. That small, nagging feeling that something was wrong. Finally, around 9 p.m., Marcus responded. Hey man, we ended up staying in town for dinner. Too tired to drive back tonight. See you tomorrow. I stared at that message for a long time. They weren't coming back. They'd gone out without me, and they weren't even going to apologize. I sat there in that hotel room, in that beautiful place I'd paid for, and I felt invisible. And that's when something inside me shifted. I didn't sleep much that night. I kept replaying the last few months, the last few years, really. Every time I'd paid for something, every time I'd covered a bill, a meal, a trip, every time I'd said, don't worry about it, when someone's card was declined or they'd forgotten their wallet. How many times had I done that? How many times had I been the one to step in, to make things easier for everyone else? And how many times had anyone done the same for me? I couldn't think of a single time. That realization hit me harder than I expect. It wasn't anger. Not yet, it was just sadness. A deep, hollow sadness that made my chest ache. I'd spent so much of my life trying to be the person people wanted me to be. The reliable one, the generous one, the one who made things happen. But somewhere along the way, I'd stopped being a person to them. I'd become a resource. Around 6 in the morning, I got up, I showered, I got dressed, and I made a decision. I went down to the front desk. The same woman from the night before was still there, finishing her shift. Good morning, she said. Everything okay with your room? Everything's fine, I said. Actually, I need to make some changes to the reservation. She pulled up my account. Sure, what do you need? I need to cancel 3 of the 4 rooms. She looked at me a little surprised. Cancel? Are your friends not coming? They're here, I said. But plans have changed. I'll keep 1 room under my name. The other 3, I'd like to cancel them, effective immediately. She hesitated. Sir, it's past the cancellation window. You won't get a full refund. I know, that's fine, just cancel them. She nodded slowly and started typing. A few minutes later, she handed me a single key card. All set. Room 304 is still yours. The others have been removed. Thank you. I walked back upstairs, I sat on the bed, and I waited. It didn't take long. Around 9 a.m., my phone started buzzing. Jason, then Marcus, then Tara, then Jen. I didn't answer. I let them ring, let them leave voicemails, let them text. Jason, dude, we just got to the hotel and they're saying our rooms are canceled. What's going on? Marcus, hey man, there's some kind of mix-up. Can you call the front desk? Tara, Daniel, we're in the lobby. Where are you? I waited another 30 minutes. Then I got dressed and went downstairs. They were all standing near the entrance. Confused, a little frustrated, Jason saw me first. Daniel, there you are. Dude, something's wrong with the reservation. They're saying the rooms are canceled. I looked at all 4 of them, my friends, the people I'd known for years, and I felt calm, strangely calm. They're not canceled, I said. I canceled them. A silence. Tara blinked. You what? I canceled your rooms last night, after you decided not to come back to the hotel. Marcus laughed nervously. Come on, man, that's not funny. I'm not joking. Jason stepped forward. Daniel, what the hell? We drove 3 hours to get here. You can't just. I paid for those rooms, I said quietly. With my money, for a trip that was supposed to be about all of us spending time together. But you didn't come back last night. You went out without me. You didn't even bother to check in until hours later. So I made a decision. I'm not paying for rooms you're not going to use to actually spend time with me. Jen crossed her arms. That's not fair. We were tired. We didn't think you'd mind. I did mind, I said. And I've minded for a long time. But I never said anything because I thought, I don't know. I thought if I kept being generous, if I kept being the one who made things easy, you'd see me as someone worth including. But you don't. You see me as a bank. Tara's face softened. Daniel, that's not true. Isn't it? I looked at her. When's the last time any of you asked me how I was doing? Not as a greeting, not as small talk, but really asked, and waited for an answer. She didn't respond. I turned to Jason. When's the last time you covered a bill or offered to pay me back for something? He opened his mouth, closed it, said nothing. I looked at all of them. I love you guys, I really do, but I'm tired. I'm tired of feeling like I only matter when I'm useful. And then I walked away. I went back to my room, I locked the door, and I sat on the bed. My phone buzzed over and over, calls, texts, voicemails. I didn't answer any of them. I stayed in that room for most of the day. I ordered room service. I sat on the balcony and looked out at the mountains. I read a book I'd brought but hadn't had time to start. I just existed, quietly, alone. And it felt peaceful. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't worried about anyone else. I wasn't trying to manage anyone's expectations. I wasn't trying to be enough. I was just me. Around 3 p.m., there was a knock on my door. I almost didn't answer, but something made me get up, walk over, look through the peephole. It was Jason. I opened the door. He stood there, hands in his pockets, looking uncomfortable. Hey. Can I come in? I stepped aside. He walked in slowly, looked around, sat on the edge of the chair by the window. For a long time, neither of us said anything. Finally, he spoke. You're right. I didn't respond. You're right, he said again. We've been taking advantage of you, and I didn't even realize it until today. But you're right. I sat down on the bed. Why did you come here? Hey, Jason. Because you're my best friend, he said, and I don't want to lose that. But you almost did. You almost lost me, and you didn't even notice. He nodded. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I believed him. I could see it in his face. The guilt, the regret, but I also knew that an apology wasn't enough. Do you know why I paid for everything? I asked. He shook his head. Because I thought it would make me indispensable. I thought if I was the one who always stepped up, you'd need me, and if you needed me, you wouldn't leave. But that's not how it works. You didn't need me, you just needed my money. Jason flinched. That's not, he stopped, sighed. Okay, maybe that's true, maybe we did start to expect it, but I never thought of you that way, I swear. Then why didn't you come back last night? He looked down. Because it was easier not to, because we were having fun and we didn't want to stop. And we figured you'd understand. You always understand. I'm tired of understanding, Jason. I'm tired of being the one who's always okay with being left out. He met my eyes. What do you want me to say? What can I do to fix this? I don't know, I said honestly. I don't know if you can. He stood up. The others are downstairs in the lobby. They want to talk to you." "I don't want to talk to them." "I know, but just think about it, please." He left. I sat there for a long time. If stories like this speak to you, if you've ever felt invisible in your own friendships, subscribe to the channel. These stories matter. They're real, they're human, and sometimes just hearing them helps. An hour later, there was another knock. This time it was Tara. I let her in too. She sat where Jason had sat, and she cried. "I'm so sorry, Daniel," she said. "I didn't realize. I swear I didn't realize." "You didn't realize because you didn't ask," I said gently. "None of you did." "I know, and that's on me, on all of us." She wiped her eyes. "You've always been there for us, always, and we took it for granted." "You did." "I want to fix this. We all do." "How?" I asked. "How do you fix years of feeling like I don't matter?" She didn't have an answer, and I didn't expect one. She left a little while later, and then Marcus came, and then Jen. Each of them said the same things: apologies, promises to do better, guilt. And I listened, I really did, but I also knew that words are easy. Change is hard. By the time the sun set, I'd talked to all of them, individually, honestly. And I felt drained, but also lighter. I'd said things I'd been holding in for years. And even though I didn't know what would happen next, I'd finally been honest. Around 8 p.m., there was one more knock. This time, it was all 4 of them. They stood in the hallway, looking unsure. Jason spoke first. "We know we messed up, and we know an apology isn't enough, but we want to try. We want to make this right." So I looked at them. "How?" Marcus stepped forward. "We pooled our money. We're paying for our own rooms. Tonight, tomorrow, the rest of the trip." Jen added, "And we're not asking you to do anything. We want to spend time with you, if you'll let us." Tara nodded. "No expectations, no pressure, we just want to be here, with you." I felt something tighten in my chest. Not anger, not sadness, just something. "It's okay," I said quietly. They looked surprised. "Okay." "Okay, let's try." We went down to the hotel restaurant. We got a table. We ordered food. And for the first time in a long time, we just talked. Really talked. Jason asked me about work, about how I'd been feeling, about things I'd been dealing with. Marcus shared something he'd been struggling with, something he'd never mentioned before. Tara opened up about her relationship, about doubts she'd been having. Jen talked about her family, about stress she'd been carrying. And I realized they weren't perfect. None of us were. But maybe, just maybe, we could be honest with each other. We could be real. The rest of the weekend wasn't perfect either. There were awkward moments, silences, things left unsaid. But there were also good moments. Laughter, hikes through the mountains, a bonfire where we stayed up late talking under the stars. And when we checked out on the last day, Jason pulled me aside. "Thank you," he said. "For what?" "For not giving up on us, for being honest, for being you." I didn't know what to say, so I just nodded. We drove home separately. I needed the time alone, the time to think. And as I drove, I thought about everything that had happened, about how close I'd come to walking away, about how hard it is to set boundaries, to say no, to demand to be seen. But I also thought about how necessary it was. Like the video, if this story touched something inside you, share it with someone who might need to hear it, because sometimes the hardest thing we do is stand up. For ourselves. Months have passed since that trip. Things are different now, better in some ways, harder in others. Jason and I still talk regularly, but it's not the same. There's a distance there that wasn't before, not a bad distance, just awareness. Awareness that our friendship almost ended, awareness that it still could. Marcus and I meet for coffee sometimes. He's made an effort, real effort. He's asked me about my life. He's listened, and I appreciate that. Tyra and Jen, things are more complicated. We're still friendly, but there's a wall, one I put up, one I'm not sure I'm ready to take down. And that's okay. Because I've learned something important, something I wish I'd known years ago. You can't make people value you. You can be kind, you can be generous, you can be everything they need. But if they don't see you, if they don't choose you, nothing you do will change that. And that's not your fault. I spent so much of my life believing that if I just gave more, if I just did more, I'd be enough. But the truth is, I was always enough. They just weren't looking. I've started saying no more, not out of spite, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. When someone asks me to cover a bill, I ask if they can split it with me. When someone suggests an expensive trip, I suggest we find something that works for everyone's budget. And you know what? Some people have stepped up. They've met me halfway. They've shown me that they value me beyond what I can give. And some people haven't, and that's okay too, because now I know. I'm still figuring things out. I still have moments where I question myself, where I wonder if I was too harsh, if I should have just let it go. But then I remember how I felt that night, standing in the hotel lobby, alone, invisible. And I know I made the right choice. Because I deserve to be seen, I deserve to be valued. We all do. If you've ever felt this way, if you've ever been the person who gives and wonders why it's never enough, leave a comment. Tell me your story. I read every single one. And sometimes, knowing we're not alone is the most powerful thing. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if these friendships will last, if they'll evolve into something deeper, or if they'll fade away. But I know this. I'm not the same person I was before that trip. I'm stronger. I'm clearer. I'm more sure of who I am and what I deserve. And that's enough. For now, that's enough. Subscribe if you want more stories like this. Real stories, human stories, stories about growth, pain, boundaries, and finding yourself in the mess of it all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for seeing me. Because that's all any of us really want, isn't it? To be seen. Sometimes, late at night, I think about that moment in the hotel room, when I made the decision to cancel those reservations. When I decided I was worth more than being convenient. It felt terrifying. It felt selfish. It felt like I was burning bridges I'd spent years building. But it also felt necessary. I've talked to a therapist since then, something I probably should have done years ago. She asked me why I thought I needed to pay for everything, why I thought my value was tied to what I could provide. I didn't have a good answer, not at first. But as we talked, I started to see patterns. Patterns from childhood, from relationships, from a lifetime of believing that love was conditional, that it had to be earned. My parents were good people. They loved me, but they were also busy, distracted. And somewhere along the way, I learned that if I was helpful, if I made things easier, I'd get attention. I carried that into adulthood, into friendships, into every relationship I built. And it worked until it didn't. The therapist told me something that stuck with me. She said, "You can't control how people see you, but you can control how you see yourself. And she was right. I spent so long trying to be what others needed that I forgot to ask what I needed. Now I'm learning to sit with discomfort, to ask for what I want, to walk away from people who don't see me. It's not easy. Some days I still slip. I still offer to pay when I shouldn't. I still say yes when I mean no. But I'm getting better, slowly, steadily. And I'm building new friendships, healthier ones, with people who ask me how I'm doing and actually wait for the answer, with people who show up, who reciprocate. I'm also spending more time alone, and that's been the biggest surprise. I used to hate being alone. I thought it meant I was lonely, that I wasn't enough on my own. But now I crave it, the quiet, the space, the freedom to just be. I've started hiking more, taking long drives, sitting in coffee shops with a book and not worrying about checking my phone. I've started painting again, something I used to love but gave up because I didn't have time, because I was too bus. Why managing everyone else's needs? And it feels good. It feels like I'm rediscovering parts of myself I'd forgotten existed. The other day, I ran into Marcus at the grocery store. We talked for a while, caught up. He told me he'd been thinking a lot about that trip, about what I'd said. "You were right," he said. "We weren't seeing you, and I'm sorry it took you calling us out for me to realize it." I appreciated that. I did. But I also knew that some damage can't be undone. Some relationships can't go back to what they were. And that's okay, because forward is the only direction that matters. Jason texted me last week, asked if I wanted to get dinner, just the two of us. I said yes. We met at a quiet place downtown, talked for hours. He told me he'd been doing his own reflecting, that he'd realized he'd been taking a lot of people for granted, not just me. "I'm trying to be better," he said. "I'm trying to show up." And I believed him. I could see it, in the way he asked questions, in the way he listened, in the way he insisted on paying for dinner. It's a start, and maybe that's all any of us can ask for, a start. I don't know where this story ends. I don't know if it has a neat, tidy conclusion. Life doesn't work that way. But I know I'm different now. I know I won't settle for less than I deserve. I know I won't make myself small to make others comfortable. And I know that's enough. If you've made it to the end of this story, thank you. Thank you for being here, for listening, for seeing me. Leave a comment and tell me your story. Have you ever set a boundary that changed a relationship? Have you ever had to walk away from people you loved? I want to hear from you. We're all in this together. And remember, you're worth more than what you can give. You're worth being seen, being valued, being loved for who you are, not what you provide. Don't forget that, ever. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this community. And thank you for reminding me that I'm not alone.